Touring is an interesting thing, especially touring alone. It's almost like a meditative vibe. There's a lot of, it depends how do you wanna, obviously everything on tour, all the difficulties of traveling and everything is at the end for one thing, like an hour and a half of music. So this hour and a half is the most important thing, and this is where you live, where a musician lives. And for me, it's important to, after the concert, to think about what happened, and try to remember what happened, and especially because it's improvised music. So certain times, some ideas are born and then you don't necessarily have the time to develop those ideas. So it's good to remember, and as soon as you have a moment, to practice, you have the luxury to practice, you revisit these ideas and try to develop them. For me, it's all very important to check out where the folk music is right now, and if it's being born or if it's repeating the same thing. Sadly, it's I would say there's no folk music being born, in 21st century, because it's a different kind of mindset. People are not thinking about that. They're singing, but they're singing older material, like they're singing their whatever came before them, but not new things are not born because there is no competitiveness, or there's no certain rites, certain festive occasions are not there anymore. So they just don't compose music while doing that. And also, everywhere you go, you hear music. And music, the value of music has come down so much. If, like, any place you go, anywhere you go, you hear some kind of a music. So this is why people like music. It's just music. Like back in the day, music was everywhere, but it was for something. It was for a certain rite or for a certain celebration. Yeah, everything was accompanied by music. Women made the bread, and they sang, created folk songs out of that. While doing that. I try to find as many recordings as I could of older recordings, and there's so much to be heard, and there's so much to explore. I do try to go to villages. I have few guys like that, singers, whose grandparents were singers, and they just sing because they don't know notes, anything. They're just people in the village that have beautiful voices, and they just sing since they were kids. So I know a few people like that, and once in a while I go there just to listen to them sing, just to get in touch with that, to experience that again, maybe and get inspired. My uncle, I would say, was one of the most important people next to me since I was 3 years old that have helped me to not get spoiled, to take the right path, and not to get carried away with all the things that makes artists, get carried away. When you're a kid, everybody wants to put you on the stage and like just make you, make money out of you, or just to, like a young prodigy, blah blah blah. But my uncle didn't let that happen. For example, and this is for me. I'm beyond happy to have had him next to me. So he was just like, no, you just practice and do your thing. But he would say stuff like, one day, you will meet Herbie Hancock or Chick Corea, But I was like 4 or 5 years old, And now when I think back, I just realized how much faith he had, and this is something that's very important for me. It's not about, it's about believing in what you love doing.